So today's session, this first session, is about meaningful work. You know, as you're looking to develop your career and join an organization, it's really important, I think, nowadays to have what you do at work be meaningful to you. And so to give you a little bit of light into what it's like to have meaningful work here at San Manuel, I've invited these panelists here to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to get started with Sarah Webster. Sarah, can you please tell us and give us some enlightenment into what meaningful work means to you and a little bit about who you are?
So for me, I find meaning in connection. When I find connection with somebody or something, I find meaning in serving them. So I find that I really connected with San Manuel, the tribe, and the community early on. I grew up in this community my whole life. I went to high school literally less than a mile from the casino. I grew up here, and I've seen the growth. I've seen what the tribe has done for this community. Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot. Much of the community really didn't. It was a really underserved community for a very long time. And so, you know, we all knew about San Manuel, we knew about the reservation, and then eventually in the late 80s, we knew about the bingo hall, but we really didn't know much more than that. And so when I went away to school, I was an engineering major. I came back home for some family things, and I decided, let me get a job. Let me just get a job, temporary, you know, just see what happens. And I got an administrative assistant position in finance at San Manuel. And literally, I'm not joking, within a month, I fell in love. I fell in love with the tribe. I fell in love with finance. I fell in love with the team, the people. And that gave me the motivation to sort of move forward. I changed from an engineering major to finance. I decided, obviously, to stay at San Manuel. And I took a lot of pride in following their journey along with my own. And that's how I found meaning in what I did. So every day I wake up and I think, how can I use my skills that I have to give back to this company, protect their assets, to do their books, to make sure everything runs smoothly on a finance level, so that they can go out and do more for the community, so that I can go home and tell my kids and tell my husband, this is the company I work for and I participated in that. That just gives me a ton of meaning. That really makes me wake up every day with a little more joy in my heart. And it sounds really cliche, but I really do think that contributes to my overall happiness outside of work. I'm very proud for working there for 20 years and seeing the growth and participating in it. I've seen them do small things like donating food to frontline workers, to huge things, donating $25 million to Loma Linda Children's Hospital. You know, that's a hospital that I was at when I was a little girl, and that means something to me. And I feel proud. I really feel proud to share on social media when the tribe does something, because it makes me feel good to participate in that. So for me, that's the connection that I've made. It's the connection to community that I grew up in. It's the connection to making this community better for my kids. And I've definitely seen it over the last 20 years. And I look forward every year to what comes next.
Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. And it's really interesting to hear from someone who grew up in the area. And thank you for sharing that perspective. I'm going to shift gears a little bit. And Tony, you recently moved out here just a few years ago from out of state and joined San Manuel. I know that you've worked at a variety of casinos around the country and some notable ones at that. Curious to understand, what is meaningful work for you and how does that apply here at San Manuel?
Thanks, Peter. So I I listened to Sarah, and I'm a SoCal transplant, right? I'm not from here. I'm actually from Mississippi, and I've worked my way west over the last many years throughout my career. Never thought I would live in California after living in Vegas. California was that place you never went, where all the traffic was, and craziness, and basically Disneyland. That's what was there. But I will tell you, meaningful work for me is being in an environment where I can be challenged, right? That I can feel like I am driving value and making a difference every day, as well as being able to be myself, and being able to work with a lot of amazing people. I didn't know what San Manuel was. I'll tell you, I lived in Vegas for 10 years. I used to pass this billboard on my way home that had this funny little stacked up chips. And I was like, what is that place, right? And when I became exposed to San Manuel a couple of years ago, I came on board to help out in a short period of time. I was a consultant, just to come and spend a little time here. And I got here, and I remember distinctly turning off of Victoria and driving up that long road and seeing this big facility. I'm like, how have I not known what this is? Like, oh my God, right? And then when I came into the property, I was even more blown away, right? And then when I started interfacing with the people, I will tell you, my first week here, even as a consultant out of the gate, my first week here was, oh my God, there's something special about this place. I'm not sure what it is, but these people are so happy and everybody gets along, and just, it's amazing to me. And, I joined the team less than a year later, full time. I moved my family out here as well. We've been here less than 2 years. And all the things that Sarah spoke about that San Manuel does for the community and for the people is amazing, right? When I first got here, I heard about the stories and you hear people talk, but once you actually live in this community, you see it, you feel it, you are proud. Right. My son went to school with one of the tribal members, actually, was a grandson of our chairman, and he was friends with him. And I used to say, you have no idea what that really means and what they do for this community. Right. And it makes you proud to be part of that. So for me, I get all the things that are important to me as a person, for the challenge and the drive and the ability to do and use my experience. That makes me feel great. But knowing that you're part of something bigger just has a whole different feel to it, right? I've worked for mostly corporate companies in my life, right? Where shareholder value is what you look at as the bottom line. It's not really about the people so much. It's about the money. And here it's unique. It's really about the people. I was reading an article this morning. There was a term called people-centric work culture. And I thought, that's what we are. We are a people-centric work culture, right? Which is amazing. You just have to experience to really understand what it really is. I've enjoyed it. I think this is, of all of my lifetime, I grew up in the same company for many years, and have worked quite a few different places since then. And I will tell you, this is the best environment that I have ever had the pleasure of being part of. So
now I'm going to turn it over to Lynn. Lynn, you joined San Manuel. This was your first time in working in the casino industry. You had many years working in other industries. Can you kind of shed some light as to how what's meaningful work for you, and how is it different here at San Manuel versus maybe perhaps some of your other places that you were at?
Sure. And I'm an East Coaster, so I'm from Boston, and my husband's from California. So we've kind of done 10 years out west, 10 years back east, and in our last move back to sunny California, where it's a great place to kind of end the career. I'd love to end the career here and retire. So and I'm not sure if you guys seen the weather, but it is like 2 feet of snow back east. So you can't beat sunny California every day. It's sunny and 75. So it is a great place to live and work and bring kids and whatnot. But one of the reasons I came, so when I was interviewing to come back to the West Coast, I got a call from a headhunter for San Manuel. And I'm like, San Manuel, what is that, right? What is that? So anyways, I listened, and it sounded like this wonderful place and really fun. So I spent 8 years before that in banking, and banking's banking, same thing. You collect money, you give money back and forth, nothing really exciting. So I took the call and I flew out, and I came out and met the team, and it was like love at first sight. It was really great. You could tell as soon as you walk in that people mattered. I felt like I was living in corporate America where people didn't matter anymore. Only money, only bottom line. And I could feel that right away. So, and I wanted to work for a company that, the biggest asset was the people, and how do we really focus on that when money's really important as well. So actually I accepted the role. I moved cross country. My family moved with me. Kids are resilient. They moved right into the school systems and graduated and now going to college through the California school system. So great place to raise a family and have a balanced life. And when you think about working for the tribe, and they're, you could say they're shareholders, they're actually around. You see them, you walk around, you can actually have conversations with them. So it's to Tony's point, it's not about shareholder value. It's about doing things for the tribe and sustainability and the tribal government operations. So it's bigger than just yourself. You're doing something, the better good there. And what the tribe does for its employees. And I'm in HR, I've been in compensation a big piece of my career. And I've never seen how generous the tribe is, making sure that everyone has the right benefits and compensation and other tools they may need to be successful in personal and work. So they do really care. That's why they put people first. And we have some really great programs that we offer here. And like I said earlier, it's really a fun place. I went to my first All Thrill, and I'm like, wow, it's like a party here, right? And everyone's celebrating. And I've never seen such a place that took such good care of their employees, from celebrating, making sure everyone knew about the business. And tribe members go to those events and they do the bird song. So you're part of culture, you're making a difference. And for me, kind of going to my, my last part of my career, next 5-10 years, that's what I really want to make a difference. And I want to, offer that to everyone at the Beef Bears. Really think about who do you want to work for and what you can do to help the broader organization and the community. So that's what it really means to me.